Project Restart is coming to its the moment when football will be played on the pitch after 3 months. The world is reeling under the most horrific pandemic, but hope is the sports will do some good for the community. Hello, Premier League fans. This is the second podcast of Premier League Museum. In this podcast, we will review each club's position, what Project Restart brings for them, as well as cover some timelines and how Project Restart happened. This is going to be the most in depth coverage that you will get on Premier League Project Restart. But before we start, I would request you to subscribe to our YouTube channel by pressing the bell icon below, and also you can go to our website www.premierleaguemuseum.com for daily updates on the history as well as the present of English Premier League. So let's get started. Now, in part 1, we are going to cover about the timeline as well as Project Restart, what this Project Restart was all about. So it all started in 10th of March. 10th of March when the rescheduled match between Manchester City and Arsenal was postponed. 13th of March was when the emergency meeting was called between the Premier League shareholders, which is all 20 clubs, and the decision was taken that Football Association, English Football League and FA Women's League will all be suspended at least until 4th of April. And that suspension continued right until 28th of May when it was decided that the restart will happen on 17th of June, and that is when this name Project Restart came up. So what is this Project Restart all about? The Project Restart is the name which has been given to the sequential or eventual evolving reopening of elite sports. It happened in Germany, it has happened in Spain, and now it is coming to Britain. The politicians have given it a way to uplift the spirits of people. Well, but we all know that it's not just the spirits of people, it's also all about the contracts, the sponsorships, the money that flows, money which has been stopped and money which has been stuck because the Premier League season is just not concluding. Also are the controversial decisions about who to relegate, who should be put in the Champions League spot, the Europa League. So considering all of those messy decisions, it was decided and a push was made that Project Restart has to happen. So the whole restart was divided into 3 phases. First phase, small groups, no contact. Second phase, contact training, tackling should be allowed. And if that is successful, then came the third phase, which is the current ongoing phase until Wednesday, which is full use of the practice facilities, the gyms, the ice bathtubs, the 11 versus 11 practice matches. And of course, all of this is encompassed by very rigorous monitored training session as well as for the tests that are conducted. Yes, there have been green zones, red zones which have been put on, and training protocols which have been put, and the testing is happening twice a week for all the players and the officials to ensure that the club is not impacted or the Project Restart is not hampered by the coronavirus. Now the question might come into your mind that what will the matches be looking like? We all know that these are going to be closed door. Yes, there will be impact on the stadium. There will only be 300 people allowed into the stadium. There will be travel aspects where the clubs will be advised to fly to the games rather than taking the buses or the coaches. Even if they have to take a coach, there will be 2 coaches to ensure social distancing happens. So all the protocols have actually been defined for the stadium, travel, pre-match, match as well as the post match. Just as an example, in the post match the players have to now come for the post match interviews after the shower, so you will see some delays until you get the reaction from the players about the matches. In part 2 we will talk about what Project Restart brings for all the Premier League clubs, exactly who will benefit and who are the ones to watch out for in this particular restart. So let's start with, first of all, Champions League, and the most likely teams to qualify for Champions League based on the current table is Liverpool, Manchester City and Leicester, and the ones to watch out for is definitely Leicester City. Why we are talking about Leicester City is mainly because they have got a very tough run of fixtures in the last 5, so the quicker they can qualify the better it is. The next is the final Champions League spot, and we have got 3 contenders for it. Who will be winning the 4th spot? That remains to be seen. And if you look at the fixtures list, it's most likely going to be Chelsea. The reason being, Manchester United and Wolves have got a very congested and very tough fixture list to contend with. I mean, Wolves, if you talk about, they started right in July 2019, and Manchester United, well, they have got a FA Cup, they have got a Europa League, they have got the PL matches to contend with, and Pogba, how will he be integrated? Next, we talk about Champions League also in the hunt. Well, mathematically, Sheffield United, Tottenham, and Arsenal. Now, you might be wondering why we have put Sheffield United here and not in the top four spots, given their points and given their position. Well, it's because Bramall Lane has been 12th man for the team, for Chris Wilder's man on the pitch whenever they are playing. And with closed doors and no fans, it will be very tough for Sheffield United to actually benefit, and also this break might cause their momentum to go down. So that's why we have put Sheffield United, Tottenham, and Arsenal. Maybe they win, but Project Restart will really mean for them. Can they do it, and can they get the Champions League spot or not? And for Europa, three teams, they will definitely survive for the next season: Burnley, Crystal Palace, and Everton. But the question really is which of these three teams can make it to the Europa League spot, and who are the ones who are likely to survive? Well, it's Newcastle and Southampton, but we must warn for Newcastle United that all the talks of the takeover, we also have to talk about the fact that for Newcastle, it's not only the teams that are currently chasing Europe, but also the teams that are fighting for the relegation. So the one to most watch out for is Newcastle. Relegation scrap. So we have three teams in the relegation scrap currently, not in the relegation, but definitely they will fight out the relegation scrap along with AFC Bournemouth, Aston Villa, and Norwich. And the most likely of them who seem, because of the kind of fixtures that exist, so the most in the relegation scrap seems to be Brighton, which is likely to go down. And Bournemouth, if they can survive somehow the first 3 or 4 fixtures, then after that it becomes easier for them, and they are the ones who most likely may swap places with Brighton. In part 3, we talk about what questions can come up during this project restart. Yes, there have been protocols. Yes, there have been a lot of monitoring, but exactly what are the kind of questions that come up to the mind? So the kind of questions is gameplay. What kind of gameplay will be there? Now, what we have learned so far from Bundesliga is that players have struggled for fitness. The playing style has been slow. There's a lot of ball possession. The goals have been difficult to come by. And also the outcome. How many matches really will get played? Will Premier League be able to play full matches, or will the pandemic strike again and halt the season again? Those are the questions that need to be answered as part of this restart. The current table is what looks like this right now. If only 3 matches get played, we believe that Liverpool wins the title. The top 3, including Leicester City, given their kind of fixtures, will consolidate, and Chelsea will nick the 4th given the kind of fixtures that it has. And AFC Bournemouth, well, if the initial 3 are supposed to be the fixtures to go by, then AFC Bournemouth will survive. What happens if, let's say, there are 4 to 6 matches and then the pandemic strikes again? If that happens, Liverpool wins the title, top 3 consolidate, which means that City, Leicester City, and Liverpool, they qualify for Champions League, and Chelsea will still continue to nick the 4th. Well, relegation would be then benefiting more Watford, because Watford may just survive relegation if, let's say, 4 to 6 matches are played. So first 3 matches, it's Bournemouth who survives. If 6 matches are played, then Watford is the one who survive. And finally, what if all the 9 matches are played? Sure, it will be Leicester City who might have a chance to lose the 3rd spot if they don't consolidate their position by this time. So if 9 matches are played, it's West Ham which will survive, and it will be Manchester United who will nick the 4th. How do you find our podcast? Please let us know, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also go to the Facebook page, like us, go to Twitter handle @PL Museum. Thank you, and stay safe.